Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out Red Yellow Sabo again. That's right, I've not given up on this leader or anything like that. I will have a deep dive into this leader coming out soon where we look at some of the winning deck lists running this leader. And we'll talk a little bit more about this leader more in detail in a later video coming up soon. Because I want to revisit all three of the three brothers, Red Yellow Sabo, Blue Yellow Ace, and Black Yellow Luffy. But I'm going to hold it off probably until OP07 hits. So that way you'll have a list that's ready to go and all that good stuff. But in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out some Red Yellow Sabo games on the sim. This is going to be a pretty straightforward, basic video. We're going to go over 5 games on the sim. We'll check out the deck list, and then we will do an art critique at the end of the video. So somewhat, more of a chill video for me today, guys. But hey, Red Yellow Sabo games, we're having a good time, right? So let's go ahead and dive into this. You know what you're getting into. I don't really have any news for today or anything like that. Like I said, this won't be my traditional deep dive style videos I've been doing over the past month or two. This is just going to be a slight update on Red Yellow Sabo, because I've done a standard list with Sabo, or at least what I call standard. It's more like a rush list. And then I've done a Whitebeard version, a video on both of those, and I will link those videos in the comment section below. So a video on the Rush version of the deck that I like, a video on the Whitebeard version of the deck, and this is going to be a very trigger-heavy version that we're going to be covering here. I have not done a Revo Army style version of the deck yet. I've messed with it, but I haven't put any videos out on it just yet. But whenever I do a deep dive into it, we will definitely talk about that. So, all right, you know what you're into, guys. Let's dive into this. We got some games on the sim to go through. We got some fun ones here. And let me make sure we're all set up. Yep, we are. Volume's off. Speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. Okay, let me move this real quick so I can see. There we go. All right, we're good to go. So, first game here is against Red Purple Law. And this is obviously a very strong deck in the current format. And I believe this is an OP07 format, by the way, guys. I've had this video recorded now for probably almost a month now. Okay, swings for 5 there, 1k counter out. Cracker's a good card from the trigger, but just playing out a Cracker, just hard casting it, doesn't really feel great. Now, in this situation here, I've decided to be the aggressor. I kind of like playing out Kikunojo, but at the same time, for those who are not aware, he has down the Gordon, so he can very easily get rid of my Kikunojo if I were to play it. Now, that was very fortunate. I got no Nami trigger, but like I said, this version that we're running today, I'm running a very heavy trigger version of the deck. So right here, I'm surprised he didn't just swing into my Zoro there, because I'm not defending that, right? There's no way. But I guess, hey, you get to play out the 3-cost, or the 5-cost kid, ramp some Dawn here, as long as he chooses to do the Shashi and Penguin first, and then he can gain the 2 Dawn from that, and 1 Dawn from the Eustace Captain Kid. Okay, and he did that. He was making sure he did it in the right order. That's why it took a while. But right here, guys, I still have to kind of put my pedal to the metal, or put the pedal to the metal here, because I don't know. The way that I think you're supposed to play Red Yellow Sabo, I think there's a lot of ways to play it, first of all, but really the main way to play Red Yellow Sabo is, I think you just keep aggressively attacking into them, forcing their hand, forcing them cards, and you're just going to gain a life every turn. I think that's the best way to play the deck. That's just me personally. Because notice right there, I played out Kikunojo just to gain life. That's all that was about. Because he can't KO my character. Excuse me. He can't KO my character if it's in my life. Like right there, okay. There goes that free life point, right? He just swung for 8, and it's almost like I blocked out of it. I just canceled the attack with my leader's effect in the Kikunojo. Okay, he did not have any ways to reduce Dawn, or to reduce cost in hand. So now I'm going to be able to attack into him a little bit. We'll go 7 into 4 here into Shiraya. He's going to block with the 6k Eustace Kid and 2k counter out. But that's okay. I will swing that, or excuse me, I will play. Okay, did you guys see what happened there? I don't know if he realizes how Shiraya works, but it only matches my leader. Let me pause for a second. So notice what I did. I swung with the Neko Mamushi first. That is a great trigger card. Went straight into play, allowed me to, well, excuse me, I played that one. Did I get that from life last turn, guys? Now I'm actually, yeah, excuse me, I must have got that from life last turn. So that last turn was Kikunojo into Neko Mamushi from triggers. Just incredible tempo. And now that Neko Mamushi card has, attached to Dawn, and you can attack into active characters. So I attack into a Shiraya, and he blocks out, but then I'm going to push the Neko Mamushi back to my life, gaining a life, and getting a free trigger card into play the next turn. and buffing out my Kikunojo to an 8,000 power character. Now he can't get off the board, period, unless he somehow draws, if he has a minus 2,000 power card in his hand, and if he draws another one for the turn. Okay, so right here, I'm in a position now where I no longer have to be aggressive at face. Instead, I just want to go at the board here. Okay, and this is perfect. I'm deciding, like, all right, what I want to do here. It's like, no, just get rid of this card. I could have just swung for 6 and left 1 Dawn active, like threatening a Radical Beam or something, but I have 3 life. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But right there, like, so now notice, I was very aggressive at first. However, one thing that Red Yellow Sabo is very good at is just slamming on the brakes. Okay, so he swings 10 into my 8. I'm going to let him have that. I'm actually fine with that because I gain a life from from Kikunojo anyway. And he takes out my Zoro there. I'm not too worried about that. I'll swing 7 because I know that's going to get rid of him. And I'm going to swing 9 at face. And guess what? I'm putting this right back on top of my life. Now I'm at 5 life. This was a 4 life leader. I went down to 2 life. Now I'm back up to 5 life. I'm up past 4 life. I'm up to 5 life. And if he chooses not to attack into my leader, like trying to deprive this card from me, I have a Luffy in hand I can cheat it out with if I need to. But okay, I'm going to take that. Swing 8, I'm going to take that. That was less than ideal, and we will talk about deck revisions at the end of the video, but that's something that I'm just not a huge fan of. So I take out his character again, and I'm just gaining a life every turn. And as long as you can aggressively attack into your opponent's field, they don't really have a way to deal with your characters, right? Because you're just going to smash into them and then bring your characters right back to life. Now, there are ways around it. He's playing out 2 of these Raise Max cards here. I'm just not scared of him, because when I play out my Luffy next turn, it's going right back to the top of my life. This is what I call the Luffy loop, okay? Because right here, guys, okay, well, I think I'm just going for lethal here. Yeah, so swing that out. We're going to go 9 at face because he only has 4 cards in hand. He can't block it. That deck doesn't run events, and then 12 at face, GG. Okay, very good stuff there. And he had 2 2K counters in hand, but it doesn't matter. 9's getting through for free, and so on. But what I had him in at the end there, guys, I called that the Luffy loop in this deck, where it's like, okay, I'm going to smash in with my Luffy, and always 6 or 7 with your leader as well. When you have, like, when you're on like the 8, 9, 10 Dawn turns later in the game, and all you have to do is play out the Luffy, you can smash into anything he has on the board for 9. You know what I mean? If you need to, and then just attach 1 Dawn to your leader, and push the Luffy right back to your life. So you gain a life for their next turn when they attack you, and then you're just gobbling up their board, and it's just never ending. You see what I mean? It's very, very powerful. Okay, and that works against certain decks, but probably not others. Okay, especially any kind of deck that has yellow that can just get rid of life cards. You got to be careful, or any kind of forms of banish. Okay, next game. So that was versus Law. This next one's against Black Yellow Luffy. Okay, let me make sure the volume, or the the speed is at 2x. All right, we're good, and the volume is off. So I've said this before, I think Red Yellow Sabo is just a straight up, like, I don't want to say a straight up counter, but I do at the same time want to say it's like a straight up counter to Black Yellow Luffy. Because how are they supposed to stop Luffy? I'm talking about the 5 cost Luffy, of course. I can just swing it in on the very turn that I play it. I can swing in on a 10 Dawn turn for, what is it? He's 5, so he's 6 plus 5, 11k unblockable. Okay, remember, Black Yellow Luffy, the leader, really typically only gets to like 9. Right, I mean, yes, it can get higher. I'm not saying it can't, but typically speaking, it's going to get to 9. And they don't always run the card. This deck is running Sabo that can pop a 5 cost Luffy, but typically they're not running that card, especially going into OP08. Or excuse me, OP07. They're replacing that Sabo with the 5 cost Luffy. The 5 cost, they call him Rocket Luffy. And guys, that card can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Excuse me, it can't deal with your 5 cost Luffy. So you just sit down on the board and say, all right, your turn. I dare you to go down to 0 life because I'm going to come in for 16k that following turn. Very, very powerful. Unblockable. Remember, unblockable. Okay, so he's going to swing 5. I'll gladly take that and get out of Kikunojo. Excuse me. He's going to swing there. I probably should have 2k countered out. I don't know why I wouldn't do that. But that's okay. Not really a big deal. I have the ability to attack into whatever I want right here. So right here, I'm going to swing, I'm going to go Banish, excuse me. So I swing at him with Banish with Onami. You don't ever want to get hit with Banish. However, here's one thing I want to talk about with math real quick, guys. This is kind of a teachable moment. Okay, consider you're the opponent here. What do you want to do? You have 5 cards in hand. If I attack into you, this is not a double attack leader like Yamato is, right? This is not a double attack character. So if I attack into you for 7, you will lose 1 card from the top of your life. Or do you want to lose 2 cards from your hand and retain that 1 point of life? You see what I'm saying? it's a horrible situation no matter what. Banish is an extremely powerful effect. However, I do think there's some logic in just taking this attack. I don't remember what my opponent does. He actually counters out. Luffy wants to go down to 0 life anyway. So right here I swing 6 into the Sabo. Okay, how many cards does he want to give me at this point? Now I'm going to return that. Okay, lot just happened there. So I attach the remaining 4 Dawn to Nekomamushi, making him a 9K that can attack active characters. With the 1 Dawn attached to my leader, I'm now pulling Kikunojo back to life and giving my Nekomamushi another plus 2,000, and we're swinging for 11 into a 6K body. There's no way that thing survives here. Okay? The only way that would have survived is if he had 3 2K counters. Okay, there it goes again, guys, where it just keeps popping up at the bottom of my screen. Sorry. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and use the Flampe. Then they're going to use the Luffy effect. Did I miss something? Was there something he did in between there? Sorry, guys. Whatever happened, he ends up filling out the board there. But he is still just a 5K leader currently, and that is not going to do it. You know what I mean? Now, okay, he's putting cards in. Now he's going to gain. Excuse me. So I missed that whole entire interaction there. So he was able to play those cards out, get some strong advantages there. But let's see what he chooses to do. My character is a 7,000 power character. Okay, right here, I'm going to go ahead and block out. I'm not worried about that ace card in my hand. And then he's going to go 11 at face. That was so dangerous. I honestly think, hear me out, guys, I think what he should have done was swing 11 into Nekomamushi. Because I could have probably countered out of it, but it doesn't matter. It's still the right play. Right here, watch this, guys. Bounce this card there, and we're coming in for 14 into 9. You got it or you don't. He doesn't have it. And even if he did, even if he was able to, you know, counter out of that, it doesn't matter. I'm at 3 life now, and look at all the counters I have in my hand. That was just a very good position. I honestly think, and hear me out, guys, I understand this is just games on the sim. I'm not saying I'm playing against the best players in the world. I'm not saying that. However, I do think that Red Yellow Sabo has a very strong advantage, like a very strong matchup into Black Yellow Luffy, at least from my experience. Okay, next up, we got the mirror match. Let me go 2x speed here, and we are good to go, guys. Go full screen. We're good. The mirror match is always weird for Sabo, at least currently, because the perfect deck list doesn't exist yet. We don't know what it is. So it's like, am I going against a Revo Army version of the deck? Am I going against a Rush version of the deck? Am I going against a Trigger version of the deck? What am I going against? Whitebeard Pirates, Straw Hacker? I don't know. And it looks like they're running a list very similar to mine, very heavy on triggers, probably more Land of Wano style. Okay, which is a very, very powerful version of the list. So we're going to swing out for 6 here. I'm going to play out the Kikunojo probably. I think we're waiting for a trigger. He gets Sanji. So his list is actually very similar to mine, where this is just a very heavy trigger version of the list of Red Yellow Sabo. And hey, that's the beauty of some of these leaders, guys. One of my guys I talk to at locals all the time, Mike, big shout out to Mike. We're always talking about certain leaders. Red Yellow Sabo is one of them. Red Blue Marco and Green Yellow Yamato. Those leaders, and there's some others too, right? But those leaders are just so versatile. You can build the leader exactly to your liking, however you want to build it, and that's a good feeling. Okay, so my opponent here's got 2 Sanjis down. He's starting to fill out the board a little bit. I still need to keep the pressure on here. I'm going to try to force him to use one of these Sabos. That's my idea here. I'm very surprised he didn't use the 7K Sanji and just give him plus 1,000 to counter out of. But who knows? Maybe he had something else in mind. Let's see if he does it here. I'm going to swing 7. It would be smart for him to take. It would be very smart to take this. Then he gets the Kikunojo. Oh, excuse me. He doesn't get Kikunojo because of that, because I gained a life from the Kikunojo. So I just went up to 4 life. And he's probably kicking himself right now. I think he's, I don't know what he's doing. I think we're just waiting on him. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I passed the turn back, and I didn't swing into him with my leader. That was just a play mistake. Just understand. Oh, excuse me. He had a 7,000 power blocker. What am I talking about, guys? I'm out of it today. I'm out of the loop. Okay. So let's see what he does here. He's going to swing 6. Probably into Zoro would be the smart play here. But at the same time, he is at 5 life. So I would have not gotten the value from the Kikunojo here. And I do not get the value from it. Okay. Very cool. Very nice. Very strong effect there. I would like to get rid of this Sanji. It's pretty annoying, but I don't really have everything I need. Okay, and clearly he has 0 counter in hand. That's the only thing I can think of right there. He must have 0 counter in hand. So buff up the Nami. Nami's getting in there, swinging in for 6. By all means, attack into my Nami this turn if you want to. That thing has... Oh, Nami is very, very strong in this deck because think about it. Think about it. Triggers, very solid. Triggers are very, very important. So it's a KO 5 or less on the trigger. But then I'm giving Banish, and I'm able to buff it later in the game with my leader effect to get extra value from it. It's a very, very strong card in this deck. Okay, now I'm sitting on just straight, I have just straight gas in my hand. Like, whenever my opponent gives me the opportunity, I'm going to be able to just start smashing through. And I need to start losing a little bit of life here from my leader so that I can start getting in range for my ace to get full value. Okay, so he is going to, he just did another life loop there. That's a really nice interaction with the Land of Wano package. You play out Otama, you play out Momonosuke to bounce it back to life, and then that's another loop. Guys, hang on, we got to pause for a second. And that loop counters out of my Luffy loop. Like, remember what I was saying, there are two kinds of loops in this deck. There's probably way more than just two. But there's these life loops where it's like, okay, every turn, I'm going to gain 2 life. With a 10 Dawn turn, I can swing for 8 every turn and gain 2 life with playing out Otama and Momonosuke. Guys, that's just straight value, right? Gaining 2 life like that and battling into the board, that presents a lot of possibilities there. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so I'm going to swing 7. He's going to gladly take this and get those cards back so he can redo that exact same loop next turn if he needs to. But I only had the 1 attack this turn. That's all I could do was swing for just the leader. But I established a Kikunojo and a Nekomamushi. I do not put these... I could have put one of them in my life if I needed to, like especially the Kikunojo. But I would rather not do that right now and just like get some board presence. Okay, especially since he has 5 life right now. And he is very safe in this situation. But I am going to swing 7. He's probably going to give this to me because I want to get card. I still have a card advantage on him from hand. And I'm only 2 life away, or I'm 3 life away from him right now, but it's going to be very easy to take that back with what I have on the board. I have 2 life, which is really good. We do want that. Now, I'm saving... This goes back to a video I did just recently talking about micro and macro. I'm saving my ace rusher for later because I can get immediate value from him whenever I want it, right? Well, excuse me, as long as I have 2 or less life, right? Obviously. It's very smart to save your rush cards until you have to play them. So that's why I played out the Kikunojo and the Sanji. I'd rather establish more long-term value. Now, it's true, I have no counters in hand, but what does my opponent have on the board? He has nothing on the board. He can only attack me once, maybe twice, obviously, because we know he has rushers. Maybe even up to 3 times with rushers, but those smaller attacks, I do have a 2K counter and a blocker I can get out of something. Okay, my board is starting to get strong. So now he is starting to he's probably starting to feel a little bit of heat, because it's like, okay, right here, so he can't push the Momonosuke back, because it's only a 6,000 power. That's why Otama is better for that interaction there, because Otama costs 1, 5 for Momonosuke, 1 for the leader, that's 7, and then you have 3 Dawn to play with, attach 1 to the leader, or to the Momonosuke and bounce it that way. But right here, guys, I'm swinging for minimum numbers here. I'm trying to get as many cards out of my opponent's hand as possible. I expected him to block there, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to swing 7 into Nekomamushi. He could block with Momonosuke to get a 2K counter. He actually just blocks, period, because he wants to keep that card. That's fine. So right here, I'm going to attach 2 to my leader. I'm going to pull that card back, plus to my... Okay, so I'm just trying 7s at this point. And the reason I do that is because he has a... And right here, I did not swing with my leader again, by the way. That's weird. I guess I'm trying to deprive him a little bit. I don't remember if I knew what was in his life or not, but I don't know why I wouldn't swing there with my leader. I'm not exactly sure. So anyway, he's going to swing 7 into 6. I do have a 2K counter. I have a 7K blocker and a 1K counter if I need that. Let's see what happens. Again, I don't know why I wouldn't swing with my leader there, guys. Like, looking back, you know, when you're playing in the moment, your mind's going through different ideas. I have no idea why I wouldn't swing there. I guess I was scared of a trigger because I know he's running Nekomamushis. I know he's running Kikunojos. So I guess I was just trying to play around a trigger while keeping my board strong. But I'd rather just keep putting him on a clock. Okay, because I have 4 life. All right, right, and that's why, you know, there's no reason not to swing a Sanji because that Nekomamushi can kind of just attack into whatever he wants. Okay, I did get an Onami from the top here. I'm going to put Banish on Kikunojo. We're going to go 7 into 5. Loses his ace. That's a horrible feeling for this poor guy. Swing 7 into him. That's going to do it as well. And now, okay, I don't know if I'm trying to end the game here or not, but I probably could have tried. So I'm gonna bounce back the Kikunojo +2 on my blocker. I could have tried to go for game there with ace. Okay, guys, let me we'll talk about it after this game finishes. So I just trashed my top life. I'm not giving this guy life after playing out the Charlotte Linland. He can have that card. Not giving him that life. But that Charlotte Linland card, guys, very solid in this deck. Because guess what? He can just bounce it back to life now and do it again next turn if I attack him. So it is really good. Okay, let's see what he does here. We're just waiting on him. I do have it on 2x speed, right? Speed, yeah, 2x. But my opponent is in a lot of trouble here, guys. They are not in good shape because I do have a stronger board Every hit that I take is giving me a character up for the next 2 characters. It's like, okay, absolutely, that's fine with me. You know, now I have a full board. So swing for 5. The most he can do is, like, I have a 7k blocker there. The most he can do is play out a Zoro in this situation, but that's not going to help him, right? Okay, and he does play out a Zoro. I'll take it, sure. And now there is 0. Okay, they instantly quit out. I've done the same thing before. Let me pause right when he plays out. So he's going to swing here. Let me take, and boom, there we go. Okay, so this would have been the final board state. I'd have drawn for the turn, and now I'm just going to go 7 into his life, like, you know, what is that, 6 times or whatever it is. It's just, you know, no way out of it. No way out of it. Good stuff there. Really like the Charlotte Linlin in the list. I think that is maybe probably the way to go moving forward, though. I will say that right now. We'll talk more about it at the end of the video. Okay, then we got Lucci. Mono black Lucci here. Speed, 2x. Okay. Now, okay, it looks like I'm playing with a different version of the list in this one here. Well, it says it's still called the same thing. Maybe not. Maybe we just haven't seen. I'm looking over at the name of this video. It's called Red Yellow Sabo Triggers number 3. So I don't know, guys. But this does not look like it's the same list. I'm running Jet Pistol. Well, I don't know. There's Kikunojo. Maybe I just have a few 1 and 2-ofs in here that we just didn't see earlier in the other games. So swing 5 there. I'm just going to establish the Kikunojo. If he KOs it, it's whatever. Or actually, no, I don't. I guess I decide that I really want to be able to gain life from that. We'll do a top 5 search with that guy. We'll play out Onami. We'll attach 3 there. Swing 5 more with Garp. Go ahead. You know, KO my whole KO the entire board if you want to. It doesn't really matter too much to me. But yeah, I don't remember ever playing with the Jet Pistol. That's interesting. Now, like I said, this was about a month ago that I recorded these videos here for Sabo. I've just been so busy, guys. I've been so backed up with all these other videos that I want to put out. And I've got a lot more on the horizon, too. I'm always coming up with content. Okay, there we go. Satori, yep. Just going to trash Kikunojo at this point because it has no counter power. I'm just going to get rid of that because I have another one in hand anyway. Okay, and that is another thing about Sabo is, like, I think finding the perfect list will be very hard to do because how do you find the perfect list? Now, he really does not want to take that. Okay, what do you get, the Innie's Lobby or something? He doesn't want to take that because now my Kikunojo can come straight into play without any problems. Now, Rob Lucci in OP07 has a lot of answers, but still, you don't really want to take that there. Okay, now he can only swing into my Satori 1 time. Okay, you can have Garp, buddy. That thing's all yours. But he can only swing into my Satori 1 time because that's a 7k character right now. So let's see what he does. He's going to swing for 6. He's going to -1 to the Satori. I'm going to take it to get my Kikunojo. He's going to swing 7. I'm going to take that. I get absolutely rewarded, never punished with that Charlotte Cracker trigger there. And look what I got in hand now. I got a Kid and Killer as well. So I'm actually in a very good position this game. And remember, it looks like, dude, you only have 1 life left, right? Don't worry. First of all, that was a double attack from Cracker, right? Right here, it's going to be 7 more at life. What's he going to give me? Wow. He actually just takes that. That is wild. Now, he does pop. Okay, tip his kick doesn't matter. Garp just doesn't matter here, guys. I'm going to return that back, swing 7 more at life, and then everything else is going to go on my leader. Or, excuse me, actually, I had Kid and Killer. So it was going to be 7k and 7k more. That was a disgusting turn there, guys. That was one of the better examples of what this deck is capable of. I mean, think about it, guys. After that right there, so I swing for 7. Say he gives me the blocker, okay? Then I play out Kid and Killer, 7k more. That's a bad situation to be in. And look at my opponent's hand. And that's not exactly crazy, okay? They do have some pretty bricky hands with Lucci because they're running Stussies, they're running Ishos, they're running Gecko Moria. I didn't know they were running all 3 at the same time. I thought you either had to pick between Stussy and Isho for the most part because there's also the 8-call Sabo as well. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. But yeah, it sucks to get a bricked hand like that, but hey, use your blocker, man. At least try. Okay, last game here. We got one against Black-Green Perona. I tried to play against all the meta all the meta leaders, guys, and I honestly think Red Yellow Sabo is slept on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just think it is. Whenever I do the full deep dive of Red Yellow Sabo in the near future here, like for OP07, I'm going to talk about how even a player at my locals was playing Red Yellow Sabo and won with that at like a 30-player tournament. Guys, there's something there. I don't know why the East doesn't try it. Who knows? Maybe. We'll have to see what deck is like hard countering it. We'll have to find out. But guys, I feel good against Black Yellow Luffy and Red Purple Sabo. Red Purple Sabo. What is that? Red Purple Law. Now they both can beat the deck. Okay, don't misunderstand me. Black Yellow Luffy and Red Purple Law can beat this deck for sure. But this deck can beat them too, and that's saying something. Okay, so I got out 2 Garps, did some searching, did some hand fixing. I'm going to swing 5 with them. I'm just trying to stay aggressive here. I want to get my opponent down to 3 life as fast as humanly possible. So that way, they can't, how do I say this? Number 1, it puts them on a clock. And number 2, it turns on my Kikunojos, and it turns on my Nekomamushis. So you need to get them down to 3 life as fast as you possibly can without being too reckless. Okay, my opponent is deep in the tank here. Did I put it on I forgot to put on 2x speed, didn't I? No, it's on 2x speed. Okay, so 5 into 2. You can have that thing. It looks like he's probably going to just tap down my Nami and pop that with a with something. Okay, maybe they're trying to fix their hand right now, because they did take the first 2 hits, I believe, and that does not feel good. We got Kid and Killer coming in for 7, bud. He's probably gonna have to give me the Sabo here. Okay, yeah, and a 2K counter, obviously. Yep, well, that's fine, because now, okay, now I've got some options, because I can bounce that card back to my life, because it's 7,000 power now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I'll swing 6 into Sabo here, and then I'm going to swing 6 more into Sabo with the Garp. Oh, man. That's a horrible feeling, guys. And then what? Do you want to attack me and give me my Kid and Killer back? And playing against any deck that has black, they depend on KOing what's on the board. Okay, so he gave me an Ezo 2K counter. He had to give me a 2K counter to save his Sabo there. And okay, he was saving Belmir? How weird is that? But that's okay. I guess he maybe had a what's it called in hand? He might have had a You Can Be My Samurai in hand. But either way, I got like 3 cards from him right there from the Sabo, because he gave me a 2K, a 2K, and a 1K to save that Sabo there. I'll take that. I will absolutely take that, because he's already on 2 life. He taps down my Nami. It's fine. I'm not really worried about losing that card. That card just got all the value I needed to get out of it. And let's see what he does. Plays out another Sabo. Oof, man. Like, that seems really good until you see what's in my hand, right? Like, that seems so good, but look at what's in my hand, guys. Oh, I think these last 2 games, notice I have Frankie here. The last 2 games I played, I believe, were OP07 deck lists. Okay, I tried to get him to attack with Sabo. Did not work. Okay, so we got to play out Luffy here. We're just going in. We're going in. We're going to swing 9 at face, unblockable. Then we're going to use the Nami's leader effect, or the Nami's effect, to put 1 on my leader. Swinging in for 6 more. Now, even if he taps my Nami, he can't attack into it with the one-legged toy soldier. Okay, so let's see what he does. This is what I call the Luffy loop. Again, I got this guy in full loop mode. Every time you attack enemy, because I had enough pressure early on, I've got you on the back foot now, where it's like every time you would try to attack into me, guess what? Bad news, you're actually going to give me the rusher right back, and you can't KO it. Normally what black decks will do is they'll tap your card down and KO it, or KO it with an effect. Well, you can't do it when it's in my life. You can't KO my character when it's in my life. And guess what? This character also can't be blocked. So I will swing every single turn for 7. You know, bare minimum 7, unblockable. So he is in an absolute death loop. He's in a death spiral right now. There's like no way out of it. Okay, so he is doing a You Can Be My my Samurai. Then he plays out Gecko Moria. These are good plays, but it's basically too little too late at this point. All right, let's see what he does. Gets out the Ezo. He's just trying to fill up the board at this point, I think. Got rid of the one-legged toy soldier. Yeah, good call, because you have nothing to KO on my side of the board. All right, here we go, guys. This is crazy. We're going to swing in for 10 here. It cannot be blocked. He's going to take it. I'm going to put it back to my life. I have 7 life right now, and I should have swung for 6 there. Oh, well. I should have definitely swung for 6 there. Okay, but at the same time, what is he going to play now? He has to remove a character. If I had swung for 6, he'd have got value out of a Sabo, and then he would have just replaced that with another Sabo, potentially. Or what if he had, like, a Rebecca? I have no idea. Whatever the case is, he probably thinks he's safe, right? Like, okay, you know what I'll do? I just won't attack into his life this turn. Well, look what's in my hand, guys. Take a look at what's in my hand, guys. That's right. I have a Monkey D. Luffy 2 cost, and now that when I play this card out, it's going straight to face for, what? 6 plus 8, 14k unblockable. Yeah, that's a real feels bad moment. That is a real feels bad moment there for him. Okay, let's see what happens. He is just trying to block her up. He's trying to get some 2K counters. He is doing nothing but searching right now, and he doesn't want to attack me. He doesn't want to attack me. Look at that. But I've got bad news for him. We're going to play out this Luffy. We're going to play that card out, and we're coming in for 14. Unblockable. He has 5 cards in hand. All of them have to be 2Ks. The only way he could have survived that is if they were, every single one of them were 2K counters. Because he had 5 cards, 5,000 power leader, so, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it'd have been 15,000 from 14. There's no way out of it. Good game. Really strong deck, though. Please don't misunderstand. Like, Black-Green Perona is a very, very solid deck. Okay, well, that's it for the actual, the games portion. Let me move this over, move my camera over. This is the list I was running today for the first 2 games for sure, or the first 3 games I was running this list. But for the last 2 games, let me see what I was running. I'll try and find it, and we'll go between the 2. Guys, I have so many deck lists over here now. Man, I don't know what I called it. That's the problem. Let's try Sabo X. Was this it, maybe? No, that's got, like, Revolutionary Army stuff in it. Sabo Pre. Oh, no, this was the list before EB01 came out, I believe. Yeah, guys, we're going to have to just take a look for a second. Maybe edit 9. No, there's no way it was that one. You guys are getting all the sauce right now for Red Yellow. It's not big. It's not the Mom Pirates one. Red Yellow Sabo? Maybe I... Oh, wait. Wait. Is it this one? I don't know, guys. I don't know. But it did have Kid and Killer. We do know that. We know it had Kid and Killer. I'm not sure. So let's at least analyze the Triggers version first, and we'll talk about the other one. Because notice there's no GARP in this list. There is no GARP. There is no Nami. And I am running the Crackers, the Satoris, the Onamis, the Nekomamushis, the Kikunojos. This list is running just straight up triggers. Like, look at that. Look at this. I'm even running 2 Sanjis. So I'm running 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22 counters in this deck. And then I'm running cards that are sort of counters. They're almost like fake counters with Luffy and Ace. Because remember, I can pull those straight out of my life anytime I need to with the 2-cost versions of the card. 2K counters are just Hiyori and Otama. Those are just solid 2K counters. And technically Satori is as well, but that's not a counter, right? That is basically not a counter in this list. It's meant for more gas. It's meant to be more pressure. But overall, I think this list is very strong. It's not even running the Kid and Killers. So I wonder if this is this version might have also been meant for before EB01 hit. And this was just a trigger version of the list. See, we got to check real quick, guys. Let me look up a few more. Did I just call it Red Yellow Sabo? No, it's definitely not that one. There's no way it's that one. I really want to find it. I'm sorry, guys. Even if we have to go through every one of these. Let me see what the... No, I know it's not the Mom version. I can't show you all that one yet. That one's still in the works, guys. It's still in the works. Red Yellow Sabo Jet Pistol. There it is. This was the one we were running. This is it, guys. This was the one I was running for the last 2 games. It's something I'm working on. It's running Koala because, remember, Sabo is a Revolutionary Army leader, okay? So I can run Koala and get the full minus 3,000, and this is not running the Land of Wano package at all. But it is OP07 version of the list with the Frankies. So in this situation, look at all the... I mean, I still have about the same 2K counters, actually, or the same triggers, because it's 4, 4, 4 for these triggers up here. Yeah, so 20. It's actually running 2 less trigger cards, because I'm not running the Nekomamushis. Okay, so what else? It's running 2 of the Jet Pistol, though. So actually, it's running about... It is still running 22 triggers, technically, but 2 of them are Jet Pistols now. Because one thing that I noticed when I was playtesting the list was like, okay, sometimes there's a card I just need to get off the board. So if I can actually, like, minus 3,000 something and then hit... I'd be able to hit a 9,000 power or less card with that combination to hit something like a Gecko Moria. Just something to give me a little bit more time. And everyone knows... Well, excuse me. Some of the newer players might not know, but one of the worst feelings in the world is to get hit with a Jet Pistol trigger, because it is something you can play around if you have enough Dawn. But a lot of people don't think about that anymore, and if you get popped with a Jet Pistol trigger, whew, that is a bad feeling. And hey, guys, it's just a solid card, right? 4 calls, pop a 6K. That's hitting pretty much anything relevant outside of the big boss characters. Still running the Aces, only running 3 of the Luffys, because this is a card you only want to see like once or twice a game, twice at the most. And notice I'm even going down to 3 of the 2-cost guys. So one thing I've noticed, I've noticed Ace is really, really strong, especially if you get a little combo going with him. But I don't know if it's just my playstyle or what, but I've had more success with Kid and Killer and Luffy than I have with Ace. And I've had good success with Ace. Please don't misunderstand me, guys. I'm not saying like this is a bad card. Far from it. This card's absolutely incredible. But I've been having so much... like good fortune with Luffy and Kid and Killer. I just feel like they just run people over. I feel like they just absolutely run people over. And then this card, I have talked about this in previous Sabo videos, and I will link my other Sabo videos down in the comment section below for those who are interested in checking those out. I do think that this card, and cards like it, there's another one coming out. Let me bring it up real quick. It's a koala card. It's like this character. Right? No, that's Bella Betty. It's right here. This is a promo card. I don't know when it comes out exactly. If you know, by all means, put it in the comment section below. But look at this. This is literally starter deck Nami, but the Revolutionary Army version of it, koala version. And the nice thing is Bello Betty, you know, the searcher's Bello Betty, so you would be able to search up. Because, you know, for those who are not aware, Nami cannot search up Nami. Because, you know, you guys know, let me just bring up Nami. If you bring up Nami on here, this searcher, she does a top 5 search, but she can't grab any card named Nami. That's just how the restriction is for this character and for most searchers. But for the Revolutionary Army stuff, let me type in Revo again. For the Revolutionary Army stuff, Bello Betty is their searcher, and then their Dawn attaching card is Koala. So, like, that's actually really, really nice. Even though it might seem subtle, that's actually very solid. And there is definitely an argument that people are having a lot of success with the Revo Army version of this deck. Guys, Revo Army is what this leader is. It's a Dressrosa Revo Army leader. Okay, so yes, absolutely. Karasu is all in a deck like this. Emporio Ivankov with the Revolutionary Army stuff. You got Bello Betty's. There's a small package here to work with, and soon we will have Dragon. And all of that will be searchable with Bello Betty. I want to hear what you guys think about this idea of going Revo Army, because I know lists are already doing well with Revo Army. Because remember, guys, or not remember, but for those who are not aware, I started this list off like this. This was my original Sabo list right here. This is it. This was, as soon as EB01 hit, I said, this is the list I want to run. I've made revisions since, but this was like my original constructed red-yellow Sabo list with EB01 cards. Because I was saying that Kid and Killer is a very important part of the deck, and I still stand by that. The card is insane. But I was always leaning, I always had Karasu in my sights in some of the Revo Army stuff, because at first I even, actually, excuse me, there was one other revision. This Otama was not Otama. This was actually, what's her name? It was Koala, because I was like, okay, 2 cost 3,000 power, 2k counter is just bigger than Otama, and it's minus 3,000 power versus minus 2,000, so why would I not run this? But then I started thinking, wait a minute, or someone brought it to my attention, I can't remember who it was, but someone in my Discord was like, hey, Otama is Land of Wano, so you can start doing a loop with Momonosuke. And guys, remember, the 2 biggest loops in this deck, honestly, are, actually, there's really 3, but the 2 biggest ones are the Luffy loop, and then the Land of Wano double life gain loop a turn with Momonosuke and Otama. But then there are others too, like I said, like the Kikunojo loop is insane as well, where it's just like, yeah, just keep bouncing that back to your life. That one only works against decks that do not have removal. So if you're going against a deck that's like maybe more like green or something, or I don't know, purple has KO, it depends. Long story short, if you're going against a deck that does not have like serious removal, excuse me, the Kikunojo loop just goes crazy, because you're getting it into play, you attach one Dawn to it, swing for 7, bounce it back to life, you gain a life, and now plus 2,000 one of your characters. It's just absolutely incredible. Kid and Killer is insane as well. Yeah, by all means, keep bringing this back to my hand, and I'll just keep swinging for 7, and you can't even attack it. And I'm gaining life every turn with it. It's so good. So really good stuff there. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think going forward. Are we going to have to mess around with Revolutionary Army type stuff? Raise Max's Revo Army. All the Emporio Ivankov stuff is, and like the Lindbergh and the Morleys, Bello Betty, Koala, Karasu. There's a lot of really strong options, guys. There's a lot of strong options and searchable stuff. Things like this Fire Fist. You know, this is a very powerful card. Minus 4,001 character, and then, you know, if your life has 2 or less cards, excuse me, if you have 2 or less cards in your life, you can K up to one of your opponent's 0 power characters. That is really, really solid. Okay, and even, you know, there's even some argument for something like Kuma. It depends, though. We'll have to see what happens. But these 2 Ivankovs are very high value cards. Karasu is as well. Dragon coming out in OP07. And again, like I said, I'm going to be revisiting Sabo within the next, like, 3 weeks, because that's when OP07 comes out for us in the West at the time you're recording this video. So I will be revisiting this list and doing a deep dive into it, talking about all the different types, well, all the known types so far of how to run Sabo. In that video, we'll go over all the different deck lists that have won and have done well. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I'm pretty much rambling at this point. There's a lot of directions to take this leader. We'll have to figure out which one is the best. You guys tell me what y'all have seen down in the comment section below. Be like, hey, you know, down in the comment section below, tell me like, hey, I've seen the Revo Army list go crazy. I've seen the Rush list go crazy. I've seen this, you know, I think this list is the best. This, that, and the other. By all means, let's just keep it respectful. I always ask that we just keep things respectful. Okay, let's finish up the video with a quick little art critique. And since we were looking at Kikunojo, of course we have to go over Kikunojo. This leader, guys, this card, this character is just absolutely incredible. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to focus in the middle a little bit there. That's good. Okay, so again, whenever I do these art critiques, we're not talking about the card's effect whatsoever. We're just taking a look at the artist and the artistic style going on here. And this one's actually very, very interesting. Let me grab my brush, grab the marker so we can draw on here. We'll use green. Let me see. Yeah, green's very, we can see that very, very good. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is her hair. So notice we have this kind of formation going on. We have this kind of action going on with the character. Kikunojo, she's going back, she's adjusting her bow, and look at her, look at the gaze. Look at her eyes. She's looking up. She's got her sword, she's equipped, she's ready to fight. Okay, it's go time, right? Which is very appropriate for what this card does. We won't, like I said, we won't go much into that, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, you know, with that trigger, insane. You know, she's putting her hair up, she's ready to go. Okay, now, at least to some extent with a bow, y'all know what I mean. Now, notice this. We see the bow, right? We see this bow right here. I'm just tracing it so y'all can, I'm actually trying to get rid of it so y'all can see it. Or so y'all can't see it, because now notice her hair. The way the artist chose to do the hair, that's not like normal hair. Okay, that's more like ribbons. The way her hair is, like notice that all this right here, this is actually like in more of a ribbon pattern, and it's really beautiful actually. Like the way they did it looks really, really good. But it's very reminiscent. It goes perfectly with the bow she's tying on her head, on her head there, on her hair. Okay, the face, like I said, look, very nice line work with the cheeks here. That came out perfectly. The eyes. Okay, we see the look at the shadows of her eyebrows, and then the eyes are coming out underneath that. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to give her this little look here. She is as menacing as she can get right now, right? Like, as far as Kikunojo goes, she is as menacing as she can be currently. And one thing that's also very interesting about this piece, okay, we know the way that a lot of the One Piece women are portrayed in, you know, within One Piece, the way that the characters are portrayed, okay? Usually a little more busty, right? But there's a little more respect going on here, I feel like, in this one, where with Kikunojo, whoever the artist is, notice they do some tucking here compared to how things would normally be, and I actually like that a lot. Like, I think that's, first of all, I think it's probably a little more respectful to some of the art styles, but it shows, it matches the kimono look, right? It just has just so much more honor to it and respect. It's really nice, actually. Okay, now one other thing I do want to point to as well real quick is like the sword. The sword here is really important to what's going on. It's there for a reason. Notice where this sword is, okay? If we were to frame this entire piece, where's the square at? Okay, we'll just go like this. Like, this is the piece we see, right? This is how big the piece is. The sword is exactly where it needs to be to basically cut the entire picture in half, okay? And it cuts the composition in half, okay? It's all there for a reason, obviously, right? And that's what we have going on up here. This shape up here is very blocky and strong, the way she has her elbows. Okay, I understand she's doing something. We know what she's doing. She's tying her hair back. Okay, but the way it's... You have to understand, this artist was told to draw a piece. Everything else is freedom. He has complete freedom otherwise, okay? So he chose, like, okay, we're going to have it look like this. We're going to have the hair look the way that we already talked about. And by the way, just the colors of this entire piece are incredible. The colors are absolutely incredible in this piece. Now, with the cloak here, like at the bottom, again, it is very, very much more blocky. But because of the arms, because of the forearms and the like, what is that, the biceps, it still has elegance. And look at the fingers, guys. Okay, we have to zoom in on these fingers. Just really, really incredible work with the fingers there. I'm sorry, when we zoom in like this, it gets extremely pixelated. That's just, you know, you got to work with what you got to work with, right? But notice these fingers here. There was a lot of detail put into this. It takes away from the blockiness of this composition, right? With it being more of like, I don't want to say it's too blocky, because we have seen this before, right? Where's my triangle tool here? Okay, we have seen this kind of composition before. It's very well grounded as like a triangle. But then one of the best things to do when it comes to art is to kind of mimic what's going on below with above. That was weird. Not meant to be some kind of a occult reference there, guys. Bear with me. But notice this. Let me flip this thing like that. There we go. Now let's make this one red so it pops out a little more. But this is the composition in this direction. Okay. Notice what we have going here. From the hands to the elbows, you have this whole entire thing going on, where it's like basically a triangle is grounding it with the way her waist is with the kimono. You have a pyramid going down to really ground the main, goodness gracious, the main subject matter, which is Kikunojo. But then the artist brings the elbows up, puts them like this, where she's tying her hair up, and that creates another triangle inverted. Okay, and just, it's incredible, guys. It looks really, really good. That's a nice tool to work with too. Whenever you're messing with compositions, you always want to match your line work in certain ways, and it makes it more dynamic. It makes it more interesting while keeping it very understandable, where it's not too messy. Really cool stuff. Now, the only thing I can't really tell in this piece is the background, and if anyone knows what's going on with the background here, you'll have to tell me in the comment section below. I don't know if this is some type of cloud formation back here. You guys help me out. I can't really see what it is. This is another one of those pictures where it's like, I wish I had the entire picture, and then I could talk a little more about it and dissect it more. But one more thing I do want to mention is notice her foot is right here, so she's kneeling down, like she's ready to get up, and then she's ready to do her thing. Because like I said, notice the eyes, very menacing. Got the shadows on those little tiny eyebrows. Okay, got the hands up. Yeah, the pinky up to tie this bow, fully, in full control of the moment, showing finesse, showing pure skill, and then the sword's on her waist already. She's ready to go. Awesome piece. Absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite arts, I will say, in the entire in the entire game. I think this is like one of my favorite arts. I don't even know I don't even know where to begin when it comes to the color palette. Okay, the hair is the blues and purples. It's a darker blue and purple though than what we're seeing with the ribbon. The ribbon, do I have to bring up the color thing again, guys? I'm sorry. Sometimes you do what you got to do, right? Let me get the spray can out. All right, so we got red, we got yellow, we got blue. Okay. And no one mentioned it last time. I'm surprised no one mentioned that I'm using, specifically the color palette for something more like with paint, because there's also a color palette for like electronics where it's I think it's red, green, and blue. Someone help me out if I'm off on that. But I always, of course, use the more traditional artist version for paint. Okay, so here we go. We got like the 6-pointed color wheel, the primaries, the secondaries. We're not gonna mess with tertiary colors right now, even though there's a lot of that going on in here. There are like some tertiary colors that are in between. But you see what's going on here. Like, notice with the, I wonder if I can ground this a little better. Because I have this 3D, I can't like draw lines straight to it, but I will actually, I guess I kind of can, right? We'll kind of go to it like this. Let me get the colors out, the marker. Actually, we could do lines. Lines will look better. Okay, so first thing is, like, notice that the hair is going straight down to this purple. Like, that's where that's kind of going. But then for the dress, it is like a lime. Oh, man, I've got to change. Hang on one second. Let me go back to the purple. Okay, and then for the dress here, it's actually going over to here. Don't worry, I'll change it, guys. Have no fear. You got more of this lime green yellow going on in between these two colors, the yellow and the green, okay? And the nice thing about purple and yellow is, notice they're complementary in the sense that they are on the other side from each other, the color wheel. So they are high contrast, very, very high contrast colors. But here's what they're doing. They're making it a little more subtle by using just this side. Where's my little tool here? My little drawing tool. They're just using this side of the wheel, right? They're only using this side of the color wheel. They're trying to stay away from the oranges and reds, only where they have to for the accents on the actual dress itself. It just looks awesome, guys. Really well done. The color on it, the composition, the execution, all the details just looks awesome. Hopefully that wasn't too clumsy. If you guys have any questions, do y'all see what I'm trying to say? By the way, let me this is where I wish I could just point with my finger and show you guys, like, so here, It's kind of hard to do with the mouse. But notice, like I said, the color of the dress is like somewhere in between the yellow and the green, if you're looking at the color wheel. When you look at the hair, it's somewhere in between the blue and the purple. They stay over here for the most part on the right side of this color wheel, the right side of what I've drawn over here, except with the accents. And the accents are literally the other side. And let me get that real quick. Let me grab the little square tool. This side right here. line type, we'll just go red, just so you guys can see it better. That's what they're using for the accents, and it's just so excellent. Really good stuff here. I'm not saying they tried to do that or anything, by the way. I'm just analyzing the way it's perceived, like with our minds, with our eyes, and with our vision. Sometimes artists don't do all the stuff. Like, you'll hear me talk about all kinds of crazy stuff when we do these art critique style, you know, segments or portions at the end of the video. I'm not saying the artist sees everything I'm doing, by the way. Like, I'm just drawing attention to the stuff that just takes the piece to the next level, because a lot of it is subliminal to the artist. A lot of it is just very subliminal, and they're just doing what looks good in their mind, but their mind works on such a level that it's like, hey, someone like me trying to analyze it, I can break it down in certain ways that they might see what we're doing one day. An artist might look at this. This guy's name's Basai, by the way. That's the name of the artist. They might watch this video one day and be like, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but hey, sounds good to me, right? Because they're just trying to draw what looks good to them. But there's always a psychological aspect to a lot of this stuff. And if you guys have any questions, by all means, just ask in the comment section below. And I'm not going to pretend like I know all of it, guys, but I'm just kind of trying to tell you the stuff that I see and that I noticed that I picked up on. Really cool stuff, though. Great piece. I've probably spent too much time talking about it at this point. Absolutely love this character. Love this card. Love this art. This is a piece that I had to knock out as soon as I saw it. All right, that's it, guys. Let me bring up the patrons page real quick before we you know, hop off. Big shout out to all my patrons. Got another guy on here, Seen by. Not sure how to say that name, but thank you so much. You know, for he's the newest member of the patrons page here. I'm almost ready to start giving you guys information on those playmats, guys. I just have to pick up the packaging for it, and then we're going to be good to go. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. That'll be its own video, I'm sure. I'll probably have, you know, an entire video dedicated to that on how to get that set up for the people who are interested. Okay, we're done, guys. We're absolutely done. Thank you guys for stopping by, helping out in all the ways you do. Whether you're just liking the videos, subscribing, watching, sharing, commenting, I appreciate all of it, guys. It all helps me out. It all feeds the algorithm and all that good stuff. So I do appreciate y'all. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace.